right, well, I just wanted to thank you guys for coming out today. I really appreciate you taking the time out. And we're going to go ahead and get started. We're talking about digital marketing and making your first impression across all of the different channels that are out there and how you're going to be able to do that to remain consistent so people will recognize your bowling center, your business, wherever they see you. All right. So the very first part that we're going to talk about is branding your business. We're going to talk about the three pillars, the three major pillars that you need to be concentrating on, and then the web trends for 2015. So how to stay up to date, how to look cool, and keep up with the Joneses, basically. Okay, what is a brand? Can anybody here tell me what a brand is? Anybody? Anybody? Okay. Well, for people that answer questions, we've got these keys where you can win cool stuff. So, okay, key. Oh God, yeah, we're gonna hand these out. Okay, so we're gonna do the handout thing. All right. So a brand is a promise or expectation associated with your products and services in your customer's mind. An effective brand helps you protect and get noticed, liked, and remembered. A logo is not the brand, okay? Your brand is everything that's involved with your center, all of your touch points where people are going to learn about you. So we're talking about your the location, your signage, your invoices, your user experience, public relations, the things that you do with schools, your billboards, the products, even the way that your phone answers when people call your business. That's all part of your brand. You want to keep it consistent. Oh my God. The brand gods smile upon us.
Wake up.
Okay, so.
Hey, Heath, before we go on, why don't we go ahead and show them a couple of bowling sites that are branded really well.
Okay, go for it.
What we got over here is Seminole Lane. Very well branded. You want to go ahead and talk a little bit about Seminole?
Well, Seminole Lanes is a bowling center that we use as a prototype to begin the process of creating a consistent brand. This particular location didn't have a logo, so it didn't have any type of identity. It didn't have a color scheme and all the things that it takes to really remain powerful in that digital space. So we took a little bit of time and we ran through that. And I want to show you a lot of cool tricks that we did to make this a really outreachable website.
We also got another one. We got Pin Chasers. That's pretty good logo.
Pin Chasers is very good. Their logo and their color scheme all completely match. Anytime that you see any type of print material, advertising on the web, their social media channels, they're all very consistent and across the board. So if you wanted to jot those down and take a look just for examples, go right ahead. And of course, we've heard of AMF here. I think we got a drop down in the way. And AMF, they've really worked hard on their brand and how they're going to produce that image across all their channels. So while it's important, your logo simply represents the collective experience that your users has with all your brand touch points. A logo is the entry point to your brand. It's the thing that they're going to remember. So let's just take a look at stuff that's not bowling real quick. So before you design your logo, by the way, does everybody here have a logo for your business? Just about everybody? Okay. If you don't, we're going to even show you how to get one and not even have to spend much money on it. But you need to really think about what your brand represents. For instance, Rolex, it's luxury. It's the luxury watch. Timex, really dependable. You see their tall capital letters, really big and bold. It's just dependability. Swatch, they got the little cross thingy at the very end. It's creative and fun. So then you look at their products, and you can tell the same thing. Very nice luxury watch that I'll probably never be able to afford. Dependability. This sucker's got all kinds of things on it. And then creativity and fun. So you can see what the brand is trying to represent and the product that is produced as a result. So brands help consumers cut through the proliferation of choices available in everyday products and service category. That's Scott M. Davis, brand assessment manager. We really researched this hard to make sure that we brought you some really good information from some credible sources. Once you understand your brand, you think about the images, the colors, and styles that might represent the ideas that your brand stands for. For instance, here's a few examples. McDonald's. They sell hamburgers and French fries and other fast foods and chicken nuggets. My kids love that stuff. But their logo has nothing to do with food. It's actually golden arches. They're bright and they're friendly and inviting. And it's basically become what represents quality and consistency and makes you think about fast food.
I think it's French fries. Anybody else think that's French fries?
Yeah, so Nike. Their shoes. That's not a shoe. But it represents the speed and the victory that they want to be associated with for Nike. So it doesn't always have to be about bowling balls and bowling pins. Your business may have much more than that. You could, especially with the FECs, with the games and things. So you think about what your customers are going to be enjoying at your center, at your business, and then you create your logo as such. Using icons and little tiny graphics of mascots and things. They can be abstract emblems, logo type, characters, combinations, and hidden. Does anybody know of any company that uses like hidden branding? Nobody? Nobody? Okay. Huh? Did you say Playboy? Upper Deck. There you go. Yeah, exactly. So with these guys, Sprint, they've got this right here just for the communications. BP, they're exploding. They're the oil company. TiVo, Disney is just nothing but a font. IBM looks pretty techno to me. So what images or icons can be associated with your brand? Bowling balls, pins, but what else? Smiley faces. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, exactly. That's great. So you think about that when you come up with it. You can use straight fonts for your logos. You can go get fonts. There's a ton of free fonts out there on the web. We can direct you to all of those places. Just come see us after this, and we'll tell you where to go to get free fonts that you don't have to worry about the royalties and fees. It's open source, and you can use them. But just take a look. This is a particular font, and you can write any English word out of this font. But it just looks really creative, and it looks fun. The Wall Street Journal, they went for a look of something that you can trust. It's got an old New Times Roman feel to it. Amazon, looking friendly and approachable. So it really gives you something that you'll always remember that. It's almost a little tiny smile. Yet it's an arrow pointing saying, we're delivering this stuff to you. So what ideas should the font used for your brand represent? Anybody? It should be representing fun, right? Fun. If you're a youth-based business, make it nice and inviting, and you can use bubbly type letters. If you're more league-based, competition-based, you might use something that looks a little bit more like the ESPN type font. And what about the colors? Does anybody have like in your branding, do you have a color scheme? Do you have a color? See, we got some people in here with the color scheme. Good. For those of you that don't, you need to be able to choose a particular color scheme and then use those colors all the time. It helps create that recognizability. You want to show them?
Yeah, let me go ahead and show you a website. There's a website out there, color.adobe.com. What it's going to do is it's going to give you all of your color schemes, so there's no guessing of what goes together. You can go straight to the website, and you have a color scheme. If you want to edit that, you just click on the edit copy. And now it's going to take you in there. Now you're going to get even more choices. So this way you can tell what colors go with what colors. Because I'm colorblind. I might put black and show you something. So this actually helps you get along the buttons, the images on your site. This is a very good tool.
Right. And what's really good about that is once you decide what your color scheme is, maybe it's going to be greens and yellows and whites, or maybe it's red and black. Whatever really works best for you. Once you come to the website, you can record the CMYK or the RGB little codes. They'll tell you what color it is. Then you can give that to your designer and whoever that you're using to design, whether it's in-house or whether it's an agency, and they can always use those colors and make sure that your brand is consistent.
It's color.adobe.com. Now, also at the end of this, the presentation will actually be on the net, and those links will be on there. So after the show, you guys can download that and come back to it, so you don't have to remember all the URLs.
But if y'all writing it down, it's color.adobe.com. All right, so we want to choose the colors that best represent the brand. So once you get those things together, you know, okay, hey, we're about fun, we're about bowling, but we're also about go-karts, and we're about our live entertainment, and you figure out what that's going to be, and you're ready to put it all together. But wait, should you just hire a designer or should you do it yourself? And it really depends on a few things. If you want to hire a designer, you want to get an agency to come out there and really gather the requirements and think about what's going on, be ready to spend anywhere from $300 to $10,000, just based on an entire brand. How far you want to go? Do you want to go ahead and get your email templates branded out? I mean, the sky could be the limit, but money is always a limitation there. You know, if you might hire a designer, if you thought about the brand but still have no ideas of what to do or what it really all means, you can get the designers to come in, an agency to come in and actually put that all together for you. Or if you just need new ideas, and as long as you're willing to take the advice of the agency, and if you've maybe tried it yourself and just didn't like it, so you wanted to get something more professional. If you're going to do it yourself, it might be because you don't have the money to spend, or you just need the logo to get started. So, you know, and then you might come back later and just add to it. So it can be a building process. You might have an idea for the logo already. You might need a logo fast and can't wait for somebody to produce it. So you go and you download those fonts and you type it out and you say, man, that looks really cool. Let me throw some kind of swoosh down at the bottom and make it look really exciting. Maybe a little explosion in the background. And of course, just as long as somebody has access to a computer, 20 minutes of time to type all that stuff out, and you like to actually dig in and try new things. Right, and the website for this is freepik.com, and you can just type in logo templates, and they're going to come up with all these different templates for you. What's really cool is whenever you download that, it's royalty free. Once I paid like $89 for a year subscription. So I can get all kinds of cool graphics off of there that's royalty free that I can use throughout any of our marketing materials. And they also provide you with the fonts to use, so you install those fonts. And then when you pull up that file, you're actually able to create. And then you have so many. Can you pull that picture back up there, bud? The AI file. And zoom out just a little bit. So you have all these different, and this is just one particular file, but you have all of these different types of, no, it's pretty small now. But you have all these different types, and they've got at least, I think, like around 200 of these type files, so you can find something that really looks good for you. They do. They have a lot of really cool pictures. They even have web design templates in there if you wanted to take that and apply that to the website that you already have. Yeah, so it's a really good resource. It's a good one to jot down. And like we said, this will be available on the handouts whenever we're done. So let's talk about the three pillars, the three major pillars out there, and we're not getting into the communication vehicle of this whole thing, what I would call controversially, it's kind of interruptive when you're sending emails and you're sending text messages and you're pushing yourself out there when you want to, but not when they're looking for you. What the idea is today is to put yourself out there where they're looking for you. So that would be on your website, it would be on your local listings, and of course your social media. The channel focus, local. Does anybody know what local optimization is? Nobody? Okay, great. I'm about to tell you. So basically, local is going to be you've got Google, you've got Bing, Yahoo, Yellow Pages, so on and so forth. All of those have listings of your business in one way or the other. Google, years and years back, derived a lot of their content right from the Yellow Pages and started putting in information. They just wanted to have it there for people. And of course, you know, if you were in the Yellow Pages back when they were doing that, your hours of operation probably changed, even your location or even your business name might have changed. So you want to go out and you want to claim those things. Google My Business, Bing Places, Yelp. Yelp's very important, and we'll talk about that here soon. And then, of course, Foursquare. You can manage those listings, your reputation management, your customer service based off of the reviews that you might have, and then, of course, your platform advertising. Now, your website is your main hub. This is where you're going to drive everybody to. A lot of people want to rely on their social media, their website, but that's not the place that you're going to create all your real conversions and your long-time user data. So we want to concentrate on your website. We want to look at your customer experience. What's it like when they get to the website? Are they able to find what they're looking for easy? We want to talk about the search engine optimization. How do I get my bowling center, my business, up in the top 5? The content is very important on that. Using a blog. Does anybody have a blog on their website? Okay, content, that's good. The content's great. And I'm going to show you something. I'll tell you about a way that you can have content on your website without even having to do anything about it. We've got you covered there. Then, of course, your marketing, email, and SMS, you're going to gain all your users' information there, and you'll be able to use it to export. We have a question? Oh, Mr. Fortino. All right. And then, of course, your social, that's where you're going to build your community, do a lot of your communications. You're always going to send them back to your website, though. That's where you want them to end up at, because that's where all of your plethora of information is going to be. You want to always have your useful and engaging content. However, if you don't have time or you don't have the ideas of things that you're going to post, we have a website or a Facebook business page for gobowling.com that has really, really good information on there. That's it's generic. It's not specifically for a bowling center or for a certain special, and you're able to go and get that content, share it onto your Facebook page, and then you really didn't have to do anything but just find what was relevant and put it on there. With your social, you can listen and respond, work with your customer care there, and keep your audience focused on what's going on at your center.
How many of y'all actually share the gobowling.com stuff on your Facebook page right now? Couple?
Got some?
Really well, right? The ones who don't, let's learn how to teach you how to do that. That is a resource that we have a marketing company, and that's what they do. They find out what's the best to post, the best times to post, and then all you have to do is share it out. So it's a very good resource.
Yeah, absolutely. Not to mention we have new tools at BPAA, if you ever need them, that you can get a blog on your website that actually imports the Go Bowling blog material. And it'll go out and it'll check every day for a new article, and it'll keep your content fresh. So whenever the search engines come to your website, they say, oh, these guys are updating their content. They must have some relevant information for people, so let's go ahead and up their rankings and make sure that they're above the other guys that don't do any blogging. Okay, so we have the layers of your 3 pillars. We're going to have an optimization layer, analytics layer, and your conversion layer, the most important of all. Your optimization layer, all of these 3 pillars can be optimized to help make sure that you're found on the internet, that you're found, that you're not finding them. Because people, how many people use Google? Yeah, see, just about every, or Bing, or a search engine. That's the #1 way people get to you these days. If they want to find out party ideas in Seminole, Florida, and they type in party ideas, will your bowling center come up? Or are you trying to market bowling parties? So you got to think about what they're actually looking for out there, and then put yourself in that spot so they can find you. Your keywords and phrases can be implemented to drive the search. That goes within, from your page, your keywords, your description, the actual content that's in your page, as well as the page title. All that has to be optimized to be able to convey that message and get it out there for them. It also ensures that your brand is portrayed correctly, and make sure that you're optimized for mobile.
How many people here have the responsive design websites? How many people know if they have a responsive design?
Okay.
How many of you have BPAA websites? If you don't have a responsive design website, you must come see me before you leave the show.
Yes, we can help you, and it doesn't have to be through BPAA. We know a lot of resources that can help you.
Ronnie Dodd. Ronnie Dodd, you can come see us at the web services booth. We have, yes, Dodd, D-O-D-D. So for the BPAA websites, we have to get you to the new template so we can get you responsive. And it has to happen at the show. So come by, we got the skins for you to pick out. We can show you how to do all of that. It's absolutely free.
Yeah, and just a quick question. Okay. Oh, Heath Shults, with an H. Yes. That's me. Okay, so how many people have a mobile phone? That's like a dumb question, right? Everybody's got a mobile phone, right? Well, those things aren't going to go away. Do you guys have a data plan? A data plan? Okay. So you get on there. Do you ever search for anything through your phone to find out where you're going, to use Google Maps to get there? And this stuff is not going away. It's only getting more and more prevalent, more and more relevant, and it's highly important that you get into that space. So if you don't have responsive design, come see us, and we can point you in the right direction or do it for you. The analytics layer, very, very important layer. This is where you're able to create your strategies based off of the interactions that have happened with your different pillars here. You drive your strategy. You understand the people that are interacting with your website. You know where they're going on the pages, where to put your advertisements within your site so that you're there when they get there, not over there trying to push yourself into their space. You want to be where they are trying to find you. And then, of course, you can measure your overall effectiveness of your marketing campaigns across your 3 pillars. Your conversion layer, you can set up and you track your goals. A lot of this has to do with gaining user data right off of your website to create your email list, to create your text messaging plans, and then also just, if you're pushing out specials, to redeem those coupons and get them back into your center. Oh, yeah, and hyperlocal. Ronnie?
Anybody know what hyperlocal means? Okay, in our industry, we don't do very well. You hear everywhere you go, I want to be at top of Google, right? Top of Google, that's where everybody wants to be, on page 1 of Google. But it doesn't do you any good to be on page 1 nationally. You want to be page 1 locally, and that's where you're going to optimize your local listings, your reviews, things like that. And that's what they mean by hyperlocal. You want to be within that 15 to 20 miles or 50 miles of your bowling center, not number 1 in Dallas, Texas, or Pennsylvania. You want to be number 1 in Pennsylvania. So you're going to optimize everything hyper-local, and you're going to keep it in your place of business right there. And you're going to get your yellow pages, things like that. So you're going to concentrate more, not on just getting your keywords, but optimizing that local field. You've got to get hyper-local, because anything outside of that, it's just not going to help.
Right. So the result, you create a customer-focused experience. They can find you across all of your channels. They can engage with you, make informed decisions about you, especially off of reviews, of which we'll cover here shortly. They can recommend you, talk about you on Facebook. There might be somebody that's never even heard of your bowling center, but a friend of theirs liked it and made a post about it. So now they want to come see what you got and how they can do business with you. So, local, and why is it important? It's the main driver for your business. So Google uses GPS coordinates to know exactly where you're searching from. So you don't have to say party ideas in Pennsylvania. You can say party ideas. However, your website has to be, because your website might not be hosted right in Seminole where people are searching for you. It might be actually hosted off in some cloud somewhere in Arizona, and then it moves over to Wisconsin based on the data center that's available at the time. So you have to go into your website and put these tags and put your localization optimization in there, which we'll show you what that means here in a second. It helps you get that visual experience on the first page of Google. The actual local listings on there, we're going to show you branded and non-branded and what it looks like and why you need to brand your business. The correct listings to ensure that people can get to your place, they call the right phone number, they know when you're open. All right, so this is what a non-branded search looks like for an emergency vet in Columbus and Dayton.
Now what I'm going to show you on this side is actually a bowling center. So when the person that came in, they actually did a search for just bowling, Seminole, Florida. Okay, so this is what they call a every business in that little area.
And, you know, let's face it, we're all in competition in the same area, right? So everybody's trying to get the business. So if you want to get the business, you have to create your brand. When you create the brand, people know the name of your business, they know what you look like, they know who they want to find, and so then they go into this branded type search. So if you were ABC Lanes, they would say ABC Lanes, and then you would come up like this. So this is I'm using like different, I'm not using bowling over here, but this is a branded search for MedBets Columbus. Now see, you can see the difference. You've got the non-branded there.
Yeah, we got a branded side over here. Now, as you see when you say Seminole Lane, Florida, now every one of your birthday party pages show up, all of your information shows up. Plus you have a little nice little area over here that gives you your hours of operation. They can leave reviews for you straight from here. I can get directions straight to your place, which I can also use Google to track how many people asked for directions, how many people went to birthday parties page, how did they get there from here. So you want to get your brand out there because as you can see, a branded search is so much better, and this is something that you can control with the Google My Business, and we'll show you that in a little bit. But this is the way you want to try to make them search for you.
What happens when you get the branded search? So Google's already gone out and they've indexed what they think are your most relevant pages, the ones that they think you're getting the most traffic to. And they list those, wait, go back. And they list those right here. So for this one, open bowling, birthday parties, galactic bowling, and company parties. They know that that's what people are searching for, and we can attest to that because whenever we go into the webmaster tools and we look, we can say, oh yeah, that's how they got to that particular page. So Google's doing a really good job of that. However, if Google does get a page that you don't want right there, then you can demote that. You can have your webmaster do it, call us, we'll get in there and do it for you, but you can demote that particular page and get one of your more relevant pages up in your search engine results. Okay.
We're going to show you here in a few minutes how to go and change that information. You have to go claim that as your business, and then when you claim that business, now you can control, and we'll go over that in a second, but now it's up to you to put the hours out there for people to see.
Okay, maybe when you show me it'll seem like much simpler. Much simpler. But I have claimed the business and called Google on many different times and just absolutely no luck and all sorts of nightmares.
Yeah, there are some instances that, Google just not. But if you go out and claim your local listings everywhere, not just in Google, but Yellow Pages,
Bing,
Yelp, all those, eventually what Google does is it does a wide search and grabs all that information and puts it in there. And we're going to show you some local stuff that you can actually go and change some other different things. So we'll show you a little bit more of that. And then come by the booth and talk to us about it.
right. So you can claim your business. Oh, go ahead.
We're in web services. Go to the IBC campus booth, and we're in the back. We're actually doing the seminars. We'll tell you about that in a second.
Yeah, the BPAA booth back there. We'll be in the very back doing seminars the whole time during the trade show. All right, so I'm going to start off. Go ahead and start off with your Google Plus page. Does everybody have a Google Plus page?
Who has a Google Plus page?
No? Okay, well, Google thinks that they know all about your information already. So you may have one and you don't even know it. And that's where you're going to find a lot of the information that might be inaccurate. So you want to go make sure that not only do you claim your business, but go check out the Google Plus page. Make sure that you have access to it so you can claim this. Now, we've seen people that have a Google Plus page, had no idea about it, and they had negative reviews all over it. And they hadn't had any type of strategy to be able to respond to that, to be able to know that that even existed, right? So it's very important that you get out there and know exactly what we're talking about. Do you have an example?
You may not be using that page, but your customers are. Okay? So, and Heath, I want to interrupt a little bit. What we're looking at over here is an actual bowling Google Plus page. And so they've actually went out and optimized it, put nice, logos up there, got photos everywhere, and they're actually keeping up with it. It's just like Facebook. You can interact with your customers. You can throw, videos out there, images, anything that gets your brand out there. Google will put this above anything and everything. So when you're doing a Google search, they're looking at this first. If you don't have this, you've automatically been demoted. Okay, so you're going to come up lower on the search engine. Automatically. So if you go over here and claim your Google Plus pages, that's the first thing they're going to look at. It's relevancy. You know, gone are the days of internet. They want relevancy. If you're not relevant, they're going to drop you to the bottom of the search page.
Absolutely.
You go to Google Plus, it's just googleplus.com, and you'll put in your, it's just like signing up for a Facebook page. You'll sign up for the Google Plus page, and they'll ask you for your business information and all the information about us and comment sections and things like that. So there's a lot more details in the back, but I'll show you where to go get that in a minute.
Unfortunately, Google's very proprietary with what they do, so they basically force you to have to kind of do this kind of stuff to keep up with their index. I mean, they are the yellow pages of the internet. Okay, so the reviews. Why it's important to keep up with that is because look right here. Somebody looked up this MedVet, and they have reviews right there on the search page, right? So you have to make sure that you get in there and you're keeping up with that stuff. These reviews might come from Yelp. They may come from Google+. Or they may have even been pulled off of your Facebook. Want to talk about Yelp?
Yeah, and remember we were talking about a while ago about local sites. And these are just a few up here, Yellow pages and Yelp. Who does Yelp again? Who keeps up with all the Yelp pages? Okay, everybody that doesn't have their hand up, you're being penalized. Okay, your customers are out there. That's the number one way for them to find you. Yelp is one of the biggest websites out there, and it's one of the busiest ones in the world. Okay? Now, another thing is, you probably already have reviews out there. So if you haven't been on Yelp, you may have some bad reviews out there that are really killing your business. Because 95% of people go to Yelp and say, hey, before I go to this business, what is it about? Who's been there before, and who hated it, and who loved it. You've got to not only be on Yelp, but you've got to answer those reviews, good and bad. Okay? Do not delete bad reviews anywhere.
You cannot delete on Yelp. The sad truth is there's only one way that you can get a review off of Yelp, and that is if that review is not about your business. So, I mean, and then that's a painstaking process to even do that. I mean, we've had some people contact us saying, look, man, we told them it wasn't our business. We still can't get it off. And so the only thing that you can do is reply. Never not reply. If it's a bad review, go. And we have an example of a review here that we'll show you here shortly. But it's basically if somebody comes in and says, man, I had a terrible experience with the customer service at ABC Lanes. I can't understand why they would do this, and they just go on and rant and rant and rant. Best thing for you to do is come back with another reply saying, hey, thank you very much for the feedback. We understand that you didn't have the greatest experience, but it is our goal to ensure that all of our customers have a great time. We are going to address this situation and make sure it never happens again. A response like that is going to go way further than not a response at all or an argumentative response and things like that.
You can try. I would still respond to it because I still go back and look 5 years back. I just got back from Colorado. And that's how I chose my hotel. And I was looking at all these really crappy reviews. This was 5 years ago. So I still gave them a chance. So, you still have a little. But I would definitely, as the owner, say, hey, this isn't the way it's posted. It's not the way anymore. Whatever it is. But respond to those. And get a little bit of your action saying, hey, I'm not that kind of owner.
Going off from that, what if you have purchased a business, like you just purchased the center, so obviously new ownership, how do you go about...
You're going to answer the reviews in that manner.
Okay.
They're not going to let you take them off.
Even old reviews that have already been responded to, if they've been responded to by
New ownership,
Yeah.
no longer this way. You need to respond to those because Yelp will not take it off unless it's a whole new business entity.
Yes. Well, if it's a different business name, you can. Okay, so yeah, then you're in luck. Definitely in luck for that. Another question?
Kind of helping her a little bit. We searched the center, and we have bad review at why we can't hang around. And it was an old one, and I responded back that we do have that on request. We do have a request that it's stepped down in the planetary. And they said, well, why does this take so long to reply? And I came back with, well, we just took over the center. Thank you for your input on that. And then they came back positive.
That's perfect. That's perfect. And here's a little strategy also. You might have a sign saying, had a great time, give us a good review on Yelp. If you have bad reviews, you can push those further down the list with good reviews.
Yeah, that's the number one thing. The more good reviews you have, they outweigh your bad ones. Because you're not going to please every single person. You're going to get a bad review. Well, you kind of want to entice them into doing something. A lot of people will actually give a free game for a Yelp review. You know, something that says, hey, reply to Yelp. Give us a good review. Yelp will actually provide Yelp cards. So you can contact them. They have some Yelp cards that can sit at the front counter reminding them to get the Yelp review. Kind of, but you gotta be careful that you're not giving them $10 worth of money. Right.
That's very true.
Yeah, the more signage you put out asking for reviews, you're not begging, you're begging, but you're not giving them $20 to do it. But put it around the center, put it on your placemat, do all kinds of places. And remind them, hey, we're here. Go ahead and go to Yelp and say you had a good time. And you'll be surprised how much good that is. And you start interacting with social media, things like that, they'll start doing it on their own. Yeah, definitely a good spot to put it.
Yeah, absolutely.
One more. Definitely. Right. See, and that just builds it up and builds it up like that. How many of them on Foursquare? Foursquare is a really awesome place because people become mayor of your town, mayor of your place. And they check in. And that's how you can tell what the response is and start communicating with them. So Foursquare is a really good place to start as well. You probably already have somebody that's checked in at your center that you don't even know about.
Right. Now, there's some tools to help you with all this. So if you want to go out and find out what all your listings actually are, because you're probably not going to know, you can go to moz.com/local.
So
That's this here.
We'll go over this a little bit. So what you're looking at here is your local listings made easy. And remember I was telling you a while ago to go out and claim all of your local listings everywhere, find out how good you are on certain platforms, things like that. And that's what the moz.com/local will do. So all I have to do is I come in here and I will put my center's name in there and my zip code. And what it's going to do is once I say check my business list, it's going to go out and it's going to find all the local listings for that name and that zip code. And it's going to say whether it's verified, unverified, but you notice here there's 3 with the same address. It's killing them because now they have 3 different types of addresses. So they're out there on some local site somewhere with 3 different types of information. Okay? So let's say we're going to claim this one. It's AMF 300. We're going to claim it. So what it's going to do now is it's going to go out and do a search for that business. And it's going to show, right now he's got 12%. Horrible. 12% is horrible. If anybody was in the room last year, we were up in the 70s and 80%. Well, the way he's getting it down here at the bottom, and you can't hardly see this. I don't know why it's in white. But these are channels. These are going to be Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, things like that. It's going to show you where you rank on those websites. So the more you post, the more reviews you get, the more there's another service that we're about to tell you about that's even better than that to do this for you. Because this is something you can do on your own. They're going to try to give you all these 30-day trials and things like that. All we want to care about for the local section here is give us the free search, tell us where we're wrong, and then we'll go fix it.
Right. So here's something. Okay, while we have, hey, let's go claim my listings. We know about Google. We know about Bing, Yelp, Yellow Pages, Foursquare, a bunch of other ones. It's still just a pain to deal with that. I did find a service that you guys might be interested in through. Anybody heard of GoDaddy? GoDaddy. Okay. Yeah, I think everybody's heard of GoDaddy. They've got a service called Get Found, and in that service, you can get like a 3-month service from them for I think it's like $49. Last time I checked, it was a few months back. And with that service, you can enter in your hours of operation, and you can enter in your pricing, the things that you do at the center. You can even put in your menu at the snack bar or at your restaurant that you might have there. GoDaddy will go out and go to all the places known that do listings and change them all for you to make it all accurate across the board. That might be worth the $50 to throw down to get that changed and to remain accurate. Then whenever you know that there might be a change, you can come back later on and then re-up the service and do it again. But in that time that you spend going to Google, going to Bing and all that, you might find that it costs you more than $50 just to sit down and do that. So it might be worth throwing down that money.
We're talking about 20 to 25 hours a month to get that on your own. So it's based on how much time you have.
Right. Okay, so, and then coming back to the next pillar here, we're talking about the websites and why it's important. Oh, you got something else?
Yeah, we were talking about remember earlier we were talking about the Google My Business List. Okay? So if you go to, not here, but if you go to google.com/business, it's going to allow you to claim your business and tell Google how you want to be seen. So some of the benefits of signing up, and it's a free service. Some of it is, like I said, you're going to control how Google shows you. And we were all talking about how many of you have looked on your Google map of your business, and your business be a half mile away from that marker. Anybody?
Good point.
And we have seen that a lot. We've actually seen where, a family of 5 gets ready to go down to the bowling center.
Oh, man.
And a half a mile away is where their marker's showing on the Google. Well, it ended up being a nudie bar. So a family of 5 is going to show up at the nudie bar. And that's not the kind of fun I think they were looking for. So it's very important when you do your Google listings to claim your map marker. Now, how many of you ever clicked on that red marker on Google? Anybody? You see all that information that pops up, it's whether you take credit cards, your hours of operation, your reviews, everything pops up on that. If you haven't claimed your Google listing, all you're going to get is your address and nothing else, and hope that it's right. So you don't want Google to control what they see. You want to control what they see. Okay, so very important. That's one of the number one things I want you to do after today is google.com my business. And they're going to sign up for a free account. And then they're going to walk you through the step of taking your business and putting it online where it belongs.
Yes, sir.
You still want to go claim it so that you can put more information on there and change it. Because right now, even though it's on there, it's because they get passed it together from someone, unless you've done it.
What if there's multiple listings that are the same business?
Do what now?
What if they have multiple listings that are the same business?
That's the same thing. You're going to be able to claim it and yes. Yeah, because what's going to happen is Google, once you sign up, they're going to call you. You're going to get a call to verify the information you just put in. They'll either call you, if they can't get a hold of you immediately, because it's an immediate phone call, then you're going to get a postcard in the mail, and that's where you're going to claim everything. They're going to verify, this is the address, this is the business name, and then, again, going through the local stuff is where you're going to be better off getting that information. Moz is very good about getting the multiple locations together.
Yeah. Yeah, I would be super happy just to get a call from Google because I'd never hear from those guys. Okay. So, and that was a good point, Ronnie. I'm glad you brought that up, especially about the family of 5. Okay, so.
My family, I'm sorry. We stayed.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, websites. Why they're important. We all know why websites are important, right? I mean, it's a property that you own and manage. It's the center of your brand. It's where you're going to get the data for your website visitors. It's where you're going to be able to spur that communication. It's where you're going to be able to send them to your social media websites, so on and so forth. And then you can actually track everything that you've done to see how well your campaigns are performing. Okay, so you really want to focus on the user experience. Okay, why are they there for? You want to put that. You want to know what that is, right? So it's going to be your hours of operations. However, you might not want to make that the very first thing that they see. You might not make the address the very first thing that they see. You might do something a little bit more like what we did here on this website.
So again, what we're looking at again is the Seminole Lane website. Some of the things we wanted to do, the one thing everybody's looking for is hours of operation, right? Well, now that everybody's scrolling, we kind of put that at the bottom. We kind of went a little bit.
Well, yeah, so here's what I did with this website. And as you can see, the first thing that it did was with the branding of the logo here. We've got the color scheme all together, but right here, I went ahead and put the location of how to get there. So if you actually click on that, it's going to pop you up. It's going to pop up your Google Maps and allow you to navigate directly to the center. Can you pop it back real quick? All right. I also have this little phone number icon, so if they just want to go ahead and give you a phone call right away, they can pop on that. And they're going to be on their cell phone, more than likely driving. And they click on that. They don't have to type the number in. It's going to go ahead and put it in, and they can just put the phone to their ear and start talking to somebody at the center. As you scroll down, what we wanted to do is convey through that slider just about, what type of atmosphere that we're talking about here. What you're seeing there, the friends and fun, the parties, the big beer, and then the kids bowl free. And as we scroll down, the first thing that we're going to come to is the main things that they're looking at for this center. The main things that people are interested in. They're looking for the deals and specials, the galactic bowling, and the kids' birthdays. How do we know that? Well, we know that through the analytics. And we're going to take you through Google Analytics so you can see exactly how to come up with this information. As you keep on sliding down, scrolling down all the way down to the bottom, what we wanted to do is convey all this information to them first, and then let them get to where they want to go. Go all the way down. So now you have your hours of operation. If you want to, if anybody has a cell phone in here with the data plan, type in SeminoleLanes.com on your cell phone and just take a look and see what this looks like on a cell phone.
Another good one is, of course, the pinchasers.net. That's a great site as well. And it's the same content. Of course, this is a little more different than the corporate edition. And they've got 3 centers that are combined in there. If you click on that. But you'll notice he's got the same kind of information. So you want to, gone are the days are above the fold. Remember, we always used to tell you, everything needs to be important, needs to be above the fold of the page. Well, that's not true anymore because we're all on mobile.
Yeah, all we're doing now is scrolling with our thumb. Just scroll, scroll, scroll. We even have buttons that'll scroll you to the bottom, buttons that'll scroll you right back to the top.
So even, like I went there, you could go down 4 or 5 swipes even that far.
It's not a problem anymore. There's a lot of centers or a lot of places out there now that don't even have multiple pages. All on one page, just keep scrolling. I don't agree with that as much, but that is, scrolling is the way to go. Scrolling, clicking is out. Clicking is out. And he's going to go over some website trends and things like that.
Well, yeah, and think about this. Like if you have Facebook on your phone and you go to your feed, and what do? You just scroll, 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 and you're looking like scroll, 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 scroll. And that's what you're doing now. So based on the data that we have out there, that's how people are utilizing these websites now. Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, they probably went into Google Elements, and he's going to show you real quick on that. It depends on which browser you're in, but you can actually view what it's going to look like on a mobile site. And all you do is you'll come over here, inspect elements.
Yeah, this will actually show you.
Very good use for everybody that uses Google. This is something that you really want to get used to doing, because now it's going to show you not only the code, but if you click on the little icon right here that says the telephone icon, now it's going to show you exactly what it looks like on mobile. And the one good thing about that you can do up here is you can tell it what device I want it to look like. So
Yes.
if you're looking around your center and you're seeing 90% of your people with an iPhone, you want to make sure what it's looking like on the iPhone, so you can actually change it to any kind of phone that's out there. And it'll do a review. Another thing that you can do with the Inspect Element module is you can actually code from here to see what it looks like in real time before it actually gets published. So if I wanted to change the class and make it white or whatever it is, you can code right there, and it doesn't save to it, just lets you know what it's going to look like, and then you can copy that code over to your website. But this is a very good tool that's going to show you what it looks like on tablets, what it's going to look like on the mobile phones.
And if you looked up Seminole Lanes earlier, you would have seen it looked the same. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, if it's not responsive. It's not responsive to something like that. So definitely something you got to start thinking about. Responsive. No, Pinchase is not Seminole. And just to let you know how Seminole came out. Pinchase was something that we were tasked to look at and make a website. And this is what Seminole came from. So it's the same concept. Seminole is one of the BPAA websites. So there's a similar theme on
Right, right. And we are getting a lot more custom in those builds now, so we can find something that's not just a template that a lot of people are using. We can find something that nobody uses and use for you. All right.
Smile for the camera.
All right. Thanks.
All right, back to the practice drop.
Okay, so when it comes to your pages, we got to make sure that your pages are, as well as you went out and you claimed your businesses, right? You claimed all your business listings, you know about your Yelps and all that good stuff. We need to make sure that your pages are localized as well. And there's a few ways that you want to do that, and I promise it will up your page rankings. We've had tremendous success with the Seminole website. Just within a few weeks, they went to the #1 spot for party ideas in their area. And here's how we did it. Ronnie?
Okay.
Seminole Lanes? Pop up Seminole?
Okay.
No. Pop up Seminole, the website. All right, so there's some elements on your page that you don't actually even see, right? So we're talking about your keywords that go in there. They are still relevant. And some people say that they aren't, but they are, because we used them and they worked. There's a description, and there's a page title. And then, of course, you have your page content. Well, here's what we did for the title for this. This is how we localized it. You can't really see what it says here, but the actual title to this page says Seminole Lanes - Seminole, Florida, bowling - parties - leagues - tournaments - fun. All right, so Google looks at that and they say, okay, well that's the name of that page. Well, hey, I know where Florida is, and I know where Seminole is, so this must be in Seminole, Florida. So they go through and then they looked, after the page title, they looked into the description of the page. We have the same thing, the same keywords in that description, and we also have the same keywords within the page. So anywhere, any of those words that are at the top there, you're going to be able to find them down there. Let's show them the party page. This is the one that I'm really happy about. Within 2 weeks, we were able to put this page at the top for party ideas in their local area. So basically, all you had to do is if you're in Seminole, you type in party ideas, this page is going to come up #1. And we did it the same way with this page title here. Can you cover over that? All right, the page title says Kids Birthday Parties - Party Ideas - Seminole Lanes - Seminole, Florida. Now, you don't always have to put your business name in there. You don't want to get your page title way too long, because they will get truncated where it's too much data, and they'll cut back on some of that title, so then it won't look exactly like you like. So if you're running out of room, if you have too many keywords in there as well, you might want to reduce those and then make sure that you at least put the city and the state of where this is at, so that way it can be localized. But we had great success in doing so.
But it doesn't, there's no set character. It's just, if it's so long, then Google starts truncating. Whenever you're looking on Google, when you're searching for something, everything that you're seeing on that is the title and the description. So when you're doing a Google search, look and see what you're seeing. Because that's exactly what the page title, the meta description, and all of that is.
Right.
That's just the title of the page.
That's the title. Yeah. Right.
So you want to optimize not only the title, and another thing that we're seeing out there, how many of y'all have seen those ones with site records that we're going to give you great SEO, let us take your website, they go out to a search for it, and they give you all these suggestions to do, and then they want $99 to do it for you. Right? A lot of those services now have turned to where they're really not worth looking at because they're trying to make money off your SEO. And you now can do your own SEO because it's more about relevancy. It's not about the keyword stuffing like it used to.
Correct. And it's all about consistency as well. Whatever you have in your page title, it needs to be about your description, and it needs to be in the page. Yes, ma'am. It'll be like city name, comma, state. Like to the, the abbreviation. Yeah, that's the word. Okay. All right, so that's how we did that. So, website tools that are going to help. And we're going to take you through the analytics here shortly. Google Analytics is number one. There's also Bing Analytics that's becoming more prevalent, but we really can't speak to that right now as we don't have as much experience with that. Google Analytics is more than enough information for what you need. Google Webmaster Tools, now that's really helpful. So if you add your site to Webmaster Tools, what that'll do is it'll go in and it'll tell you all your mistakes. It'll go in and say, hey, you've got misspelled words on this page. You've got images without alt tag descriptions for the disabled, so on and so forth. It'll also tell you, hey, it looks like one of your pages got hacked. And that has happened numerous times with some of these older websites that we're hosting. We've seen people come in and they finally break into the old technology. They'll go in there and they'll dump in pages that look like you're going to go buy a Dallas Cowboy jersey. Actually, I mean, you're just probably going to get an iron on, and more than likely you're not even going to get it. So we've had Google come back to us through our Webmaster Tools and say, hey, there's like 5 pages on this website that has that appear to be hacked. So you go through, and then it tells you actually how to fix it so that it doesn't get hacked again. And a lot of times it's get a new website. Yeah.
Couple. We actually have got a hosting company that we are very happy with because now they have the NSA and a couple of other high-profile national security folks that used to work for the government that are now working on their hack sites, on their hacks. How many we blocked? About 1 million last year?
Yeah.
About 1 million hacks last year. Okay, so it's constantly going on. And that's why I was telling the ones who were on the old template from BPAA site, that's old technology. It's dead. It's hacked. It's done. So we have to get you off of that and go to the new platform. And that's where the security is. We're constantly seeing China, Russia, Venezuela. All these people are coming in and dropping these sites, and they're making millions of dollars because they will send out an email to 1 million people going to your website. Now, 2 things that does to you. It hits your bandwidth, because you only get so much bandwidth a month. So if you've got 1 million people coming to your site, all of a sudden your customers can't get to you because your site's been shut down for too much bandwidth. Plus, you're going to get a cease and desist order from Oakley. You're going to get a cease and desist order from
Nike,
NFL, Reebok. We've seen several different things. Okay, so you got to stay up with the technology because the Chinese and the Russians are not going to give up. They just keep pounding daily. I mean, we have just every day, that's our night.
Yeah, The last thing you want is for them to get in and get your customer's data. If you have your data stored there, not in Customer Connect or Infusionsoft or somewhere else, if you have just the database within your website, you don't want that data getting out. Because if they find out, if all of a sudden someone signs up for your email list and then your site gets hacked and then they start getting all this spam and stuff, they're going to think it's you.
How many of you have Webmaster Tools? Anybody? That is the number one thing. If you take anything away from this seminar today, I want you to go get Google Webmaster Tools.
Absolutely.
It's the most powerful thing out there. It's going to show you how to do your website right. It's going to grade you. It's going to do everything for keywords. It's going to show you how many backlinks you have. I mean, it's just so much information. It's overload. Now, with that said, there's also a Google channel out there on YouTube. Just go out and say Google Webmaster, and there's thousands and thousands of videos that Google has put out showing you how to do Webmaster the correct way.
Just watch the new ones, not the thousands of old ones.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to social. We all have Facebook pages for our business. Yes? Yes? All right, good, good. So you guys already know what's going on there. You build your community, engagement with your customers and things. But how much time do you spend coming up with that content? Like 10 hours a week, 5 hours a week? You don't have to come up with that content on your own unless, say, for instance, it's your specials. What's really cool is we've got something that if you guys ever want to come talk to us about it, we can actually post like a blog. Like if you post something to your blog that might be a special, we can have it go to Twitter and Facebook all at the same time. So it's all done at once. You can also then go and share the information from the Go Bowling page, which is really cool.
Can we back up just a second before you move on to the social?
Sure.
I want to go over analytics a little bit because we didn't go into deep details about the Google Analytics.
Okay.
Who all uses Google Analytics?
All right.
Okay. Does anybody, the ones who didn't raise their hand, who knows about Google Analytics and what it does? Okay. Google Analytics, remember we were talking about the 3 layers and the measurement of the website and how it's doing? Google Analytics is what it's going to tell you that. It's going to tell you how many times they went to a page. You want to go over a couple of things?
Well, yeah. So what we're looking at here, this is the past month's history for this Seminole website. And you can see that obviously it was, well, we just lost it. Okay. It was showing the last 30 days, and you could see that it started on in June, actually. Can you go back to the other way? There we go. All right, so you can see, actually, we started in June with that, and then you can see the traffic and the page views that are going on. You can see the spikes on a particular day, June 19th, and what that day was. You can find the sessions. The sessions are actually mean visits. It's somebody that's come to your website long enough to actually be a visit, not somebody that comes there and says, oh, wrong site, and go off. That's not going to be considered a hit or a visit anymore. So we're calling them sessions. You can look at the different, out of these sessions, over these past 30 days, so we had 2,244 sessions. Out of those 2,244, we had 1,668 actual unique people or unique visits from a computer. And then out of those people, the sessions and the users, they viewed 5,000, they had 5,513 page views. So what we might want to know is, well, what pages are we looking at? So Ronnie, if you go down on the left side to behavior, and go to site content, and then top pages. Now, when this comes up, we scroll this, go ahead and hit the title link. You scrolled right past it there at the very top. Scroll up. There you go. Hit title, page title. Right here. All right, so this is going to give you the page title of the pages that they came. So the very first one that you're going to see, this page title is one that I read to you in the beginning from the home page. You can see that it's had 2,506 views over the last 30 days. Well, what's the next page that they were looking for? Bowling specials and hours of operations. And then from there, the unlimited galactic bowling, and then kids bowl free. knowing this, you know what your customers are looking for, right? So then you can come up with a strategy and say, well, guess what? On my hours of operations page, I'm going to put an advertisement for leagues because we're trying to floor some leagues. So you can come in there and say, based off of this information, that's where people are going to be. So I'm going to place the advertisement where they're going to come to. So, and you could say that out of those, I mean, there was like 710 views on that. So out of those 710, how many did you actually convert? And that's where you're going to have your advertisements linking into a form that can collect that information for that type of conversion. What's really cool is if you click on user flow. User flow is really neat. It actually shows you the interaction of the website. So where do they start? So this is going to be your landing page, your home page. And where did they go from there? It's hard to see on that. The very first place that they went was to the parties page, right here. So they went to go look at the parties events, the open bowling, so on and so forth. So you can see the actual traction of where they went. So you have your first interaction, kids bowl free here, the rewards card, people that are getting in there and activating their card or checking their balance. So it just gives you more and more information about what your customers are doing. That's invaluable data. You can do so much with that, come up with a really good strategy to up those conversion rates, and then, of course, the repeat business.
Now, and all that's good. Now, I have a personal favorite in here I want to show. It also will show you real-time information. Okay? So while I'm pulling this up, why don't you go to Seminole Lanes real quick? Seminole Lanes. If everybody who's ever got a phone, let's go to SeminoleLanes.com. So I want you to see right now, there's 0 people on this Seminole Lanes website. Nobody on it. If one person clicks on the phone, it's automatically going, oh, look at that. Now I can see real time that somebody in this room is on there. If I click on there, I'm going to be able to tell where they're coming from, where the phone is, what company they're with, what kind of telephone it is. So, all kinds of, see, now we got 12 people on it. So if you're having a tournament or something like that, or if you, better yet, if you send out an email blast to 500 to 800 people, what's going to happen is now I can look at it real time and see how that action's happening. So that's a really cool thing. You know, and now we got 24, so it's just going to be up and down. And this is going to tell you, hey, I got 7% of you are on a tablet, 93% are on a mobile phone. There's 3 of you that went to the birthday or are on the birthday page. Somebody's looking at the schedule. 25 of you are on the home page. So, man,
If you're wanting to track when they're looking at your offers and email, can you go back and look at that not in real time?
yes,
Did you see a list of that?
that's exactly
Absolutely.
what you want to do. Is when you're doing these emails and things like that, you want them to land somewhere, and that way you can actually do that. And there's a couple of other things. You come by the booth and we'll talk more about UTM and things like that. We don't want to go too deep into it.
The place that you would want to look right away is referrals. Where did they come from?
Where did they come from?
And it might say, you might see a link, a real cryptic link, but it might say constant contact inside of it.
Make
Well,
sure you go out and get them webmaster tools because they're going to show you how to do all of this.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so anyways, social, while it's important and you're building your local community through there, make sure, here's the one thing that we got to make sure we always do. On your Facebook page, hit that About Us section and make sure that that's correct. Google hits Facebook all day long. They have a whole entire system set up just to go through the social media sites, and they look for new information. They look for incorrect information. So this is just another place where we think about listings being like Google listing, or Bing listing, but it's also right here on your Facebook. And of course, that's another place where you're going to manage your reviews and things like that, and make sure you always reply. One place to help. You can use johnloomer.com. It's a resource for how to do your Facebook advertising really well. And by doing it really well, you'd probably be doing it for free. You don't really have to pay for those advertisements anymore. You can do your own advertisements if you know how to use your Facebook posts properly. Then also a social media image cheat sheet. So if you need to tell your designer or whoever is involved that's got Photoshop, they can go in and say, all right, well that big header. The big header graphic. Well, what's the best size for that? Well, they're going to tell you what the size for that is. What's the best size for my profile picture? And they'll give you that. What about if I want to put a coupon on there? What's the best size? How's it going to look the best on mobile? And so that you can find all that right there with the cheat sheet.
On that cheat sheet, as you can see over here, it's going to tell you the exact size of what your image over here, your icons are going to be, what the cover image is going to be. This is Instagram, this is Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. So all the major social places, it's going to have all that on that cheat sheet. And of course, you guys, I know everybody's squinting over here. This will be available afterwards, so y'all can do it, but it's mashable.com/2015. But we'll get this all to you guys.
Okay, so just to summarize this portion, and we're going to get to one last portion, and then it's off, and we're all going to go party and lose money. So, summary.
I already lost all my money.
Oh, okay, well, he lost his money. I didn't spend anything yet. Summary. So all three pillars are connected, and they all three need to have a strong presence to help you dominate. Prioritize your weaknesses. Concentrate on those and get those taken care of first. And that might be the listings. You might want to take a look at that. Use the layers to help you to continue to strengthen these pillars and use your advertising opportunities. Everything's changing all the time. You have to stay involved. Okay, so here's the really fun stuff for me. Website trends in 2015. We've got to keep up with the Joneses, okay? So you want to have the best looking website that you could possibly have out there. And we've been busting it trying to get this one up into that area of like, hey, we're using everything possible. So here we go. Parallax scrolling. Has everybody ever heard of that?
Anybody know what parallax is? Yeah, I'll show you.
Yeah, okay. Parallax scrolling. Flat material design. Getting away, long gone are the handicap clip art and word clip art and that stuff. Just, man, don't ever use that. Other design elements. We'll go through all this. The one I think is really cool is parallax scrolling. We can show you an actual... we'll show you an example here in a second, but it's basically the hottest technique in web design. It can backfire if overused just like anything else. It uses new technologies like HTML5 and CSS3, and that's what we're diving into and really enjoying right now when we're being geeky nerds at our computers. You might think that they're gimmicky, but man, they make a good impact, and the studies show that people come back to those type of sites more just because they're totally awesome.
Let's do this. Let me show you. I'm going to show you 3 websites, and they're all 3 using different types of parallax. Okay, so if you want to go ahead and show what's going on here. As we scroll down, we're going to get to the beer. I want everybody to see the bottom of the beer. Okay, as we're scrolling down,
we're revealing more of the product.
and as we keep scrolling down further, now we're in the bar. Now we move to the bar stool. Okay, so that's a cool little thing for parallax. Okay, let's go to another parallax. This is called boyboy.com. Okay, and you see you have a little page that's come up.
And you might look at something like this and say, that's a little bit over the top. But we just wanted to show you exactly what it can be used for and the type of effect that it gives you.
As we scroll down, you see 3-dimensional views. The clouds are coming up. So this is parallax design too.
There's no flash animation. There's nothing really like super tricky to it. But if you use your layers correctly, whenever this is being put together, your designer can make it look really interesting like that. And it creates a long-lasting memory. And people like to come back and see that and see what's new.
Is that optimized for mobile also?
Yes. And parallax, is not going to be... on mobile, you're not going to see parallax as much just because it's a lot smaller. So the effect might be minimal. But whenever they are on the desktop or on the iPads and things like that, you'll see it a lot. We have the one that we just did. And we're able to replicate, but what we want to do is make sure that we're not using the same images for a different site, so we can
make sure that our technicians are up to scale on the latest technology and stuff like that before it starts getting rolled out to you.
It's coming soon.
So here's another good one. If you're not on hotel internet, that ain't gonna work.
All right. Flattened material design. This is where I'm saying, there's some people that still use clip art. We can't do that. Okay, so let's take a look at what it actually is. It's flattened material. So your flat design has achieved a lot of movement over the last couple years. It appears to have staying power, but it might be a concept. It might be possible that as a concept, flat design is growing up, perhaps into kind of morphing into material design. So basically, I mean, anybody familiar with the new Windows 8 interface? Yeah, I heard some grumbling in there. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, but they went with that. A lot of these websites are going out there and they're getting away from that realism, like the 3D type images of people and things like that, and they're going with this flat type design. The material design was actually unveiled with Google on this new mobile operating system that they just put out. It's really a metaphor for unifying the theory of rationalized space and a system of motion. Yeah. So the material design, just tactical reality inspired by the study of paper and ink, yet technologically advanced and opens the imagination and just keeps and piques your interest. So flat design, it's definitely here for a while. I wouldn't say that it's like here to stay, but it's definitely a design that you might want to go with, and it's actually easier. It's a lot easier than trying to do like the old types of designs with the big beveled buttons and things like that. So,
looks clean, loads fast. Your images, everything, it just loads faster, gets better customer experience.
yeah, and the Joneses use it. Okay, so other design elements that you're going to be seeing coming around, there's these little like ghost buttons. Instead of having your big silver buttons that you're like submit and all that bulky stuff, now we're coming into just, hey, this you can see through the button, but you can see the text, so you know what the button's for. Using big photography. So you have big pictures, and you can see on that Seminole page how we put it out there, and it really conveys the message of how good of a time the people are having, so on and so forth. And then the big typography. With these high-resolution screens that are coming out, especially with like the new tablets, I mean, they're talking high-resolution tablets, right? So where we used to have our images with the resolution of 72 dpi, you can now go ahead and use 300 dpi on there, and it'll show up high-res on some of these new displays, especially with the optical displays. And with that, if you're using just your regular size text, I used to use, font size 10 or font size 12. Well, that's not going to show up really well anymore. You want to be using, like, for your headers and things like that. You want those fonts being up there around 32, 36 pixels. You want to use larger, like 16 pixel text so that you can read it well, and it shows up good on your mobile phone as well. So that's really all that we have for the digital marketing. Did you have anything else, Ronnie? Absolutely. We can also provide you with samples that you can give to your web designer to take and work from. So we want to be able to provide you with all these different types of resources. One thing to mention, at the BPAA booth, we're going to be doing a small 15-minute little presentations on how to do stuff like making killer graphics for your website or how to use your data collection tools properly and things like that. So come visit us at the booth. We'll hang out. We're going to give away some free iPads or free tablets at the end of the trade show. If you'd like to get a card for that schedule, just let me know, and I'd certainly appreciate you guys coming out.